Hello, hello, hello. I see some of you all coming in. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? My brothers and sisters out there, how you doing? Welcome to the first part of the new week. How you doing, Sister Keisha? I see you join. Hancock down there. Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sister. We have a very interesting and intriguing show tonight. How you doing, my little sister Renee? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in. Come on in. I guarantee you can take this with you to the bank. For those of you that are interested in a particular type of relationship, when you're thinking about possibly going outside of your race, this is going to be very sensitive tonight. If you think about going outside your race, we're going to address this tonight. And my brother and sister, if you have any thoughts on this particular topic that I'm going to get into tonight, you can feel free to voice. How you doing, mother? Come on in. Come on in. How you doing, Sister Cheryl Smith? I see your John Hancock down there. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in, brother. You all are going to get a treat tonight on this particular topic. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We're about to get rolling. We got a few more seconds to go. I hope that you all enjoy this kickoff music with my brother Genesis. He be kicking it off. He be getting us crunk up for the evening. Crunk up. We're about to get into it. Hold on for a little more while. We're going to get a few more brothers and sisters come in, then I'm going to dive into it. I hope you all are ready because we got a show tonight. Well, how you all doing again today? My name is Tony M. Toomer, for those of you that have never seen me before, and welcome to tonight's content. Me, what am I about? What is me? What am I about? I am about relationships. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and when I talk about relationships, my brothers and sisters, I talk about a relationship strictly from a biblical point of view, and I believe strongly in the relationship between a man and a woman, how it is in the book of Genesis. God created the world starting with Adam, the man, and he finished it up with the woman Eve, and from Adam and Eve, we all came down one bloodline. And if you don't believe in the relationship that how God started off between Adam and Eve, you could believe whatever you want to believe, but this is the position I come from. I believe strongly in the relationship between a man and woman. How you doing, Sister Flo? By the way, you all, before we get into this real good topic, go ahead and grab your bag of popcorn and soda, courtesy of Sister Flo Harvey Martin. We're about to get into this content. Now, tonight's content, or tonight's show, we are going to be talking about is being in an interracial relationship right or wrong? How you doing, Sister Jane? Is being in an interracial relationship right or wrong? Now, my brothers and sisters, interracial relationship, when you look at the dictionary, it is basically defined as a marriage or cohabitation between a man and woman of a different race, and interbreeding between members of a different race. So we're talking about crossing over into another race when it comes to a relationship. And you know, when it comes to a relationship, my brother and sister, you should be focused on being serious when it comes to a relationship between a man and woman. You should look at a relationship like being serious, and the serious should take another step called commitment, and the commitment should convert to a covenant relationship. That's how God really want a relationship to go. He don't believe in boyfriend, girlfriends, and all that kind of stuff. He want a man and woman to not straddle the fence. He wants you either say yay or nay or go on. Don't waste no one time. Now, when it comes to interracial relationship, I'm about to build a house for you, okay? But first, we're going to go to the book of Acts, and we're going to go to a particular scene in the book of Acts, And this about somewhat got to do with prejudice, okay? Now, when we go to Acts 10:9, I want to give you a little background of this. The Apostle Peter, he was pro-Israelite. He was pro-Jew, right? So anyone that was not a Jew during that particular time, they looked at them as less. That's how they looked at them, okay? As less. And if you remember when Jesus came to the Israelite, he came strictly at that particular time to fulfill a law and fulfill prophecy when he came strictly to the Jews. Because that's what Jesus was mostly focused on. But every now and then when Jesus was down on earth, you seen him address Gentiles, okay? But his main focus was first the Jews, then the Gentiles. So when Jesus died on the cross, Jesus died for everyone. It did not have nothing to do with race, color, gender, anything. He died for everyone. Now, still Peter, he had a problem with being prejudiced because he still was thinking in his mindset that being saved and everything, it was strictly to the Jews. But Jesus had to break Peter up, and this is how he did it. About noon the following day, as they were on their journey and approaching the city, Peter went up on the roof to pray, and he was hungry. But while a meal was being prepared, he fell into a trance. Now, the Lord doing this to him. You see, the Lord took the opportunity to set Peter up, so he fell into a trance. And when he fell into a trance, this is what happened. He saw the sky open, and something like a large sheet was let down by its four corners. In it were all kinds of animals and reptiles and birds of the air. Then a voice said to him, "Get up, Peter, kill and eat them." "No, Lord," Peter declared, "I have never eaten anything that our Jewish law had declared impure or unclean." And the voice came to him again for the second time. "What God has cleansed, you do not call common." Now this took place 3 times, and immediately the vessel was taken up into heaven. Why did I tell you this? Because remember I said Peter was prejudiced, right? So Peter was led to go talk to Cornelius. Cornelius was a Gentile of another race, okay? So the Lord was showing him that he was opening it up beyond the Jewish. He was opening it up to Gentile. If you're not a Jew, my brother and sister, you are a Gentile. That means whatever race you are, you're a Gentile, okay? So the Lord opening up for everyone. So the Lord looked at all of us. He died for all of us, right? So the Lord does not discriminate. He don't care who you are, as long as you believe in him. So the Lord was eliminating what is called prejudice. That's what a lot of us deal with today, being prejudiced, okay? That's why I'm setting this up. How you doing, Sister Twyla? Now, like I said, this particular topic, it is going to be interesting. It's going to be sensitive tonight. Now, there are some people that don't see anything wrong with interracial relationships, and then there are some people that are 100% against it. Now, keep this in mind, my brother and sister, when it comes to interracial relationship, your words on this topic can really get you in trouble when it comes to God. And I will expound what I'm talking about, and I will explain this to you more in detail later. But brothers and sisters, when it comes to other races and stuff, and when it comes to interracial relationship, I'm going to show you something how God thinks about it, okay? Not how he feel about it. But those of you that are coming in, tonight's topic is being in an interrelationship right or wrong? And I'm going to show you something from God's point of view. God is going to answer the question for you all that don't know. You could be confused. And a lot of times the world is confused, and sometimes we brothers and sisters, we have our different points of view when it comes on interracial relationships, okay? Now, have any of you ever seen that movie called Who's Coming to Dinner? In that particular movie, as a matter of fact, the movie featured Sidney Poitier, Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn, and Catherine Holter. Catherine Holter was Katharine Hepburn's niece. So some of you have seen this classic called Who's Coming to Dinner. but I'm going to condense this. What really happened, Cindy Poitier started dating a Caucasian woman, right? So she had to introduce him to the family, okay? So if you all seen it, you know what went down. And this was the thing that had to break down racial boundaries and stuff. Cindy Poitier being an African American or a black man, and the lady that he was in a relationship with, she was a Caucasian or white. So she had to introduce him to the family. If you have not seen this movie, my brother and sister, I'm telling you, this is a classic. Go take your time and go to Netflix or find it somewhere. And you can get really entertained on this movie called Who's Coming to Dinner. As a matter of fact, my brother and sister, some of you all have experienced Who's Coming to Dinner. Some of you were the guests in another ethnic group, or some of you, it was brought to your attention, okay? So some of you have experienced it. If you haven't experienced it, you have seen it before. You have had question marks about interracial relationship. Now, according to Jacqueline Oliver, there appears to be 6 true struggles when it comes to interracial relationship. This lady, when I got this information from, I did a little research, and she got 6 true struggles in interrelationship. This is what she did by research. Number 1, she said when you get into an interracial relationship, number 1 thing, there will be 2 different value systems. That's right, my brother and sister. What she said right there is true. There will be 2 different value systems, because if you come from another ethnic group or race, you're going to be brought up a certain way. You're going to be taught a certain things. You're going to get some information on how other races appear to be, or opinion, but a lot of times it'd be opinion or what people think. Because if you really watch 2 little children, let's say for example, if you see a little black child and a white child, I'm talking about little, they would play with one another. They would go hug one another and stuff, because they're not prejudiced against it. You understand? When you watch little children, they don't be prejudiced, and they hug each other, play with each other. But what happens as they grow up? They're going to know, they're going to be hearing things. They're going to be taught things about other races. They're going to have their different prejudices against other races. And that's when they come up. But children in general, they don't be prejudiced. They just want to play and love one another. Okay, number 2, there may be some unhealthy assumption between interracial partners. What do I mean by that? If you in another race, you might assume certain things about that person that you're interested in based on what you heard. Instead of you being over there in that ethnic group or being brought up in that culture, a lot of times you're going to go by what you heard. Not a lot of time what you seen. And if you look at the media and everything like that, they're going to be putting stuff out there. And when you look at movies, when you look at TV shows, it put images out there, so it get loaded down on your subconscious. And a lot of times you don't realize it. You look at other races like, this is what you can expect out of this race and what you can expect out of that race. That's a lot of assumption. Number 3, mental interracial couples shy away from hot topics like racism. So it's the truth. If a man or woman for different ethnic groups get together, they probably gonna tiptoe around racial issues, because it could be real hot based on a lot of things that they heard in the past. Now, Dr. Joyce on there, I don't see why this is even a discussion. It depends on what someone personally like. And Lord, it should never be a question right or wrong. Okay, that's your opinion, but this is my show, so I can discuss what I want to discuss. Now, moving right along, number 4, boundaries in a relationship may appear. For example, some black people don't see nothing wrong with calling each other the N word. Okay, some black people don't see it that way. But then, if a black person probably is married to a Caucasian person, And that Caucasian person used the N word, it'll be a problem. Whereas that Caucasian person might say, well, you all can call each other the N word, what's wrong with me? You see, that's kind of got to do with that racial stuff. You see what I'm talking about? So those are some little things where you're gonna have to have some boundaries. Number 5, some couples allow other opinion to affect their well-being, like when it comes to family, friend, co-workers, and social media. So some people, they are interested probably in getting into a relationship with someone else, but they think more about how you know, Sister Deborah, but they think more about what their family, friends, co-workers, and social media would say, and they might be interested in someone else. You know what I'm talking about? Number 6, some individuals date people from another race, and they feel superior in their relationship. Now, there are some relationships, if they get hot and angry and something like that, some people might feel that they might want to pull the little card out on their mate. Now, these are just a few struggles. Now, the question still is being in an interracial relationship right or wrong? There are problems within one race, but there will always be challenges when it comes to interracial relationship. There are always going to be some issues that might come up, or challenges when it comes up to interrelationship. When a man and a woman cross the racial line, the world, check out what I'm saying, the world in general doesn't really accept it. And we could talk, when I can narrow it down to the United States of America, no matter what part of the country you're in, whether you're north, south, east, or west, when you really look at it, and words don't be said, a lot of people in different races, they really don't like that racial stuff. A lot of the mass don't like it. They might not say too much about it, but they really don't like it. Now, there are some people, and I can tell you this, the majority of the people in the United States of America, they will accept that racial crossover. But the majority on it, they do not. And the factual part is, because some people feel like, if you in our group, let's stay to ourselves. Let them stay over there, and let them stay over there, and we're going to stay over here. That's how some people view it, and it's just a reality. Now, when I say when a man and woman cross the racial line, the world doesn't generally accept it. And you could go to different other countries. Now, you go to different other countries, they definitely don't want you to do no mixing of the race. The United States is one that is a little more liberal when it comes to mixing of the races. But when you go over to the Middle East and all that kind of stuff, they don't play that. You stay over there, and we stay over here. But the United States is kind of, in a lot of Western society, they're more open to it. But to tell you the truth, majority of the people, if you can open up a person, if you can see right into a person's mind and heart, majority of the people, they don't like it. A few will, but majority of them won't. If you decide to get into an interracial relationship, Cheryl said, my dad is interracial married, and we love our stepmother. Amen. Now, when we get to, when you decide to get into an interracial relationship, my brother, let me tell you some things to look out for. If you decide to do this, okay? If you decide to do this, if you decide to get into an interracial relationship, get ready for gazing. What do I mean by that? People are going to just watch you because it's odd to them. Some people are going to say, well, why did he get with her? He couldn't find nobody in this race. Or why did she cross over? She couldn't find nobody in this race. And then you have some people among your own race that turn against their own race, and they buck against their own race just to go be with someone else. So get prepared for the gaze, and people are going to look at you. Whether you in person, whether you in social media, something, people going to watch you, and that question going to come up, why did he or she cross over? This is how the world view it, okay? But God got an answer for it, and I'm going to talk to you all about it shortly. Number 2, Getting ready for the family, friends aren't going to hold back who they truly are. Now, when it comes to interracial relationship, my brother and sister, the first thing you're going to think about, I'm going to introduce him or her to my family. And you thinking about how your family and possibly your friends going to receive them, but the most important people you're going to look at is how your family going to do it. Because you come from your family, and you have heard how some of your family members view other races. Some people that said they're not racist, even people within their race is racist against their own people. You can have people of a different race, they have prejudice based on the skin tone, and I talk about within their own race, outside of other races, but you're gonna have, this is one of those things about who's coming to dinner. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something, my brother and sister. I have, in my lifetime, I have crossed the line. I never crossed the line with a Caucasian woman. I never done that before. I never crossed with a Caucasian woman. But I have had some Caucasian women to approach me. I have had some to approach me, but some other races I have dated. I have dated, but it was for a short period of time. Well, that's another story. Now, number 3, you are going to be questioned why you did cross over. So when you decide to get into a relationship, my brother and sister, some of your family members, your friends, or whatever, be prepared. They're going to ask you why you did it. Some of your family member friends are going to say, you couldn't find nobody else within your race, our race. You're going to be questioned about it. Your friends are going to question you about it. So get ready. They're going to question you, and more than likely, they're going to question you when that other person is not around. Number 4, and this is something that you got to really consider if you're thinking about crossing over to another race. If you have a child or children, and you're the parent of them, you have to be prepared how to get your children adjusted to the world. Because if it's a man and a woman, and if you have children, they're gonna have both your DNAs and stuff, okay? They're gonna have all that kind of stuff. If you this complexion, if the child is complexion, when the world look at your child, they're gonna be able to see that there's some mixing going on. So you got to consider this. It's very important, my brother and sister. You got to consider this. Sister Keith said, again, in their presence, I prefer my black men. A lot of other race mess with me, but I'm not interested. Also, I have white and Cherokee and have in our family. I'm not racial, but so far, but I refuse. Okay, Sister Keith. Now, like I was saying, my brothers and sisters, if you have children and you're in an interracial relationship, you're going to have to think about it, because how the world view it, the world is going to probably challenge your child because of his or her skin tone. And this is just a reality. And also, if you decide to be in an interracial relationship, you got your different belief system more than likely, and you got your own culture. So you're going to have to really talk to one another about the belief system. That's number 1, your belief system, and then your culture. You're going to have to expose your child to one another's culture. Number 5, when you're in an interracial relationship, you have to be extremely careful how you talk to each other when you get angry. Now, you have to be careful when you talk to someone within your own race. But you're going to have to kick it up a few notches when you are in an interrelationship with someone, an interracial relationship, and you get angry. You got to be extremely careful. You don't start calling this person such and so based on race or nothing like that with the intent to hurt them. Or you can't say, well, that's what I expect out of you anyway because you that race or this race. You know what I mean? So you got to be extremely careful how you handle conflict when it comes to interracial relationships. Number 6, don't try to get your partner to be like your race. Whatever race you are, if you decide to get in an interracial relationship, don't try to convert your mate into being like your race. If you decide to be serious, commit, and go to an interracial relationship, you're going to have to accept that person for who he or she is. Don't try to convert them to be your race. Number 7, when a child have a little bit of black blood, now this is what we talk about, the United States of America, basically the world, but the United States of America. When a child have a little bit of black blood, there would be more problems, especially here in the United States. Because in general, in the United States, as you know, when it comes to the black race, and you look at the history of the black race, when it comes to mixing, race mixing, we are not looked at as being positive. Our race, when you look at the media and how the history go, our race, they deem our race as real low. And that's the reality. So if you're in an interracial relationship, especially black brothers and sisters, you're going to have to think about this. You're going to really have to think about it, because if your child had just a little bit of black blood in them, that child possibly going to have some more difficulty than someone that mixing and they're not black per se. So that's just a reality, okay? So just be prepared for it, okay? Now, is being in an interracial relationship right or wrong? Let's look at it now. We're going to look at it from God's point of view. We're about to see how God views interracial relationship. Now, let's look at history when it comes to history. If those of you familiar with history and you believe in God's word, what we call the Bible, when we look at Genesis, we notice 2 genders. We notice a male and a female. We notice Adam and we notice Eve. They was in Eden. When you look in God's word, it did not say what race Adam and Eve were. Now, some people, they look at it like he or she had to be this particular race because they was in this part of the world. You know, that's what some people want to say. So, and you know what? I'm so glad that God did not put the color of Adam and Eve's skin, because if God would have put the color of Adam and Eve's skin in the Bible, that particular race would say we number 1. That's what would happen. And I'm glad God did not put it in there. So when we look at history, to tell you the truth, my brother and sister, every man and every woman are descendants of Adam and Eve. If you believe in a biblical account of mankind, every man and every woman come down one bloodline, and that's Adam. He's the man. Is coming down Adam and Eve. And after Adam and Eve, that was before the fall or the flood. After the flood, we get Noah. Noah had 3 sons. And we're familiar with we are familiar with the flood. Noah, when he got on the ark with his wife, it was 8 people that got on that ark. It was Noah and his wife. It was Noah's 3 sons and their wives. Okay? Understand that? Noah and his wife. Noah had 3 sons and their wives. After the flood, all of us, in general, we are descendants of Noah and one of his 3 sons. His sons were brothers. Understand? Bloodline. They all come from Noah. And the bloodline, it was 3 brothers. So you understand the connection. When you look at Adam and Eve, we all come down from Adam and Eve. When that old world was destroyed, and it started with Noah and his 3 sons and their wives, we all come down that it's still that one bloodline, because everything is still connected to Adam and Eve. You understand? Now there is one example in God's word, my brother and sister, when it came to Moses' wife. If you could recall, Moses was what? An Israelite. This problem came down about Moses' wife and how his brother Aaron and his sister Miriam, which were Israelites, they spoke against the interracial relationship. So I'm about to answer you all a question from God's point of view. So listen very carefully. Don't hear me. Listen. Beware, beware, beware. You are being warned, especially if the man is following the Lord. If that man is following the Lord, you need to listen. You need to learn and take notes. Now, we're going to see how God handled this interracial relationship, okay? Now, we're going to go to Numbers 12. That's chapter 12, 1 through 15. Again, Numbers 12, that's the chapter, and verse 1 through 15. Again, Numbers 12, 1 through 15. And this is what God's words say. We talk about Noah, we talk about Moses, and we talk about his brother Aaron, and we talk about his sister Miriam. Aaron and his sister Miriam, they did not like Moses' wife. Remember, Moses was an Israelite. His wife was an Ethiopian woman, which means she was darker skinned, okay? Now, Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman who he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. Keep this in mind now. Keep in mind where we're going with this, okay? And they said, has the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Have he not spoken also by us? Now here's the critical part. While they were yapping their mouths, this is what the Bible say. And the Lord heard it. When they came against Moses, and he was talking, and they came against Moses' wife, and they were talking about Moses' wife because she was not an Israelite. She was an Ethiopian. They talking about skin color. That's all they focus on, the skin color. But what they really didn't realize is when that woman married Moses, she was following his headship and his leadership. She believed in the God that Moses believed in. We talk about being unequally yoked. Now we're going to get more into it. And it said, and the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very humble, more than any man who was on the face of the earth. Now what does humble mean? Humble, my brother and sister, it is defined as someone who knows that they are not perfect. Moses knew that he was not perfect. He acknowledged that. There's a whole bunch of people walking around here that think they are perfect. That's what humble means. When a man or woman comes upon, I'm not perfect. I believe and I follow the Lord. Now, it says suddenly, check this out. It says suddenly, the Lord said to Moses, he said to Aaron, and he said to Miriam, come out, you three, to the tabernacle of meetings. So what happened? God called all three of them out. And this is what happened when he called all three of them out. I hope you all got some flow popcorn and soda, because we're going to see how the Lord handled this interracial issue, okay? So the three came out. Then the Lord came down in a pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle. And he called out Aaron and Miriam. So all three of them were there, but when all three of them got there, Moses was standing there. But when Moses was standing there, he didn't call Moses to come forward. He called his sister and his brother to come forth. And this is what happened. And they both went forth. Then he said, that's the Lord talking to both of them. Hear now my word. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to him in a vision. He talking about Moses. I speak to him in a dream. He talking about Moses. Not so with my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. So the Lord is telling Moses' brother and sister, look, I chose Moses. So I chose Moses because he was a humble man and he's following me. So what is it? Why do you all have a problem with my servant Moses? You see what the Lord doing? He asking both of his brothers and sisters, why do you all have a problem? I'm the one who chose Moses. I'm the one who allowed Moses to marry that Ethiopian woman. So why do you all have a problem with it? Why do you all have a problem with it? Because she's an Ethiopian. You got a prejudice problem. Now we're going to get more into it. I speak with him face to face, even plainly and not in the dark, and he sees the form of the Lord. Why then? This is what the Lord asked Miriam and Aaron. He said, why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? Now you see what the Lord is saying. So you are disrespecting me. I chose Moses. You didn't choose him. I chose him. So what you got a problem with him for? I'm the one who allowed him to marry that Ethiopian. So why you all have a problem with it? Remember the Bible say, a man that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. Moses found a woman. Remember when Moses left Egypt and he went to Jethro. Jethro took care of Moses. Jethro had some daughters. The Lord set up everything, and that's where Moses found his wife right there. The Lord knew that that woman was going to follow him than an Israelite. The Lord had that stuff playing all the time. Now, check this out. So the anger of the Lord was aroused against them, and he departed. So the Lord was so pissed off. He got finished talking to them, and he left. But something happened immediately when he left. Listen up. Like I said, grab your popcorn and your sodas and listen up to what happened when they went against Moses. And the cloud departed from above the tabernacle. Suddenly, Miriam became leper. She was a leper, as white as snow. Then Aaron turned towards Miriam, and he sees she was a leper. The leper is a skin disease, and it can be a fatal skin disease. Can you imagine this? They walking up, and they just thought the Lord was talking, but the Lord was pissed off, right? So when the Lord left out, the Lord did some discipline, not punishment, but discipline. Discipline is different from punishment. So he disciplined them. So he made Miriam an example. And then Aaron turned towards Miriam, and there she was a leper. Then Aaron said to Moses, "Oh, my Lord, I beg you, do not hold us responsible for this sin by which we have turned out to be foolish and by which we have sinned." Now, Aaron see that what they did was wrong. Now he begging Moses. You know why he begging Moses? Because he know the Lord and him was tight. That's what he did, leprosy. And he saw this skin disease attack his sister. She had good flesh, but once they pissed the Lord off, it changed. The reason why he didn't do Abram, because Abram was a priest. But Abram had some more problem down the road. We ain't got too much. We can't talk about that too much, but Abram had some problem down the road. But we're talking about what he did initially when he got pissed off. And again, then Abram said to Moses, "Oh, my Lord, I beg you, do something. Hold her not responsible for the sin by which we have turned out to be foolish, by which we have sinned. Oh, do not let her be like a dead person whom flesh is half eaten away when he come out of the mother's womb." So this is what Moses did. Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "God, hear her, please." But the Lord said to Moses, "If her father had but spit in her face, would she not bear her shame for 7 days? Let her be shut up for 7 days outside the camp, and afterwards she may be received again." You see, the Lord made an example out of Miriam. That's what he did. He made an example out of Miriam. So you know what Miriam had to do? Just remember all the Israelites. Can you imagine, ladies, can you imagine this? You in the wilderness, and you by yourself. You out there by yourself. Nobody was around you. Nobody can talk to you. Nobody can see you. You couldn't see nobody. Can you imagine, my sister, being a woman and you had to be outside the camp and you couldn't talk to nobody? It wasn't no telephones. It wasn't no text. You was out there by yourself for 7 days. I mean, 7 whole long days. You watch the sun come up and you watch the nighttime come, and you know some of you sisters, y'all be scared when y'all hear some sounds out there. Can you imagine Miriam hearing all kinds of sounds out there when she was by herself? Can you imagine that? That was a lesson. Now, so Moses cried out to the Lord, hear her, and God, please hear her. And then the Lord said, if her father had but spit in her face, would she not bear her shame for 7 days? Let her be shut up 7 days outside the camp, and afterwards she may be received again. So Miriam was shut outside the camp for 7 days, and the people did not move until Miriam was received again. Got it? That is God's answer to interracial relationship. It was not the world's way. The world's way is kind of like Miriam and Aaron. That's the world's way. But if a man be following the Lord and a woman be following the Lord, who are you, my brothers, and who are you, my sister, to say got a problem with it? You better be careful. You got Miriam for an example, and you got Aaron for example, especially Miriam, when you talk against someone that found the Lord and he or she choose to get, him or her choose to be with someone that the Lord brought to them. A man that found for wife, found for good thing, and obtained favor from the Lord. Moses was a humble man. And you see, when they turned on Moses, Moses had to talk directly to the Lord. But did that relieve Miriam punishment? No, because the Bible also said whatever man or a woman now, whatever man or woman sow, they reap. The Lord forgave her, but he disciplined her for 7 days. And her skin came back. You understand? So what I'm saying, it goes by who the Lord approved for you. Long as you, my brother and sister, don't be unequally yoked. You're going to have some people that pro on their race, and you're going to have some people that say it's okay. But I tell you this, my brother and sister, when it comes to love, brother, you pray to God. Sister, you pray to God, and God bring you together. This God's business. It's not the world business. It's God's business, okay? Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my sister, for being here tonight and getting something out of this broadcast. I love you, my brothers. I love you, my sisters. And now you know, is it being in an interrelationship right or wrong? It depends on how the God looks at it, not how man look at it, not how the world look at it. It's right if God says right, long as you don't be unequally yoked. I love you, brothers. I love you, sister. Peace out.